Hey YouTube, today I wanted to share my salary progression over my working life ever since I started working a minimum wage job in high school to figuring out what I wanted to do in life and what comes next after graduating high school and eventually stumbling into my career as a product manager in tech, making a base salary of currently $140,000 per year. And I don't believe I'm a special person that only a few people can do what I do. Really anybody can copy what I did. I'll post some screenshots of my salary and my current role, including a screenshot from a pay stub that I have to compare the hourly rate equivalent of my salary to. I want to preface this by saying I'm grateful to be in the position that I'm in because I genuinely enjoy my job and I find the work meaningful. The people that I work with are some of the smartest in the industry and a joy to work with, which makes any job easier when you work with great people and everyone feels like we're all sharing and working towards a common goal. There was a lot of hard work and luck along the way to get into the position that I'm in now that I'll discuss more later on. Starting from the beginning, when I was in high school on my 15th birthday, I went to a big chain grocery store and applied for a job on the spot and talked to one of the managers that was working that day. After leaving the store, I got a call a few days later asking me to come into an interview. And the job was a position bagging groceries for customers and some other responsibilities like getting carts from the parking lot, putting them back into the store, cleaning bathrooms, mopping floors, and other miscellaneous tasks around the store. They started me at what minimum wage was in my state at the time, which was $8 an hour. The first couple of months working, it was cool, especially in high school, going back to school, telling your friends, you're working now, since that was a new life experience. Every 6 months, I got a 25-cent to 50-cent raise to my hourly pay, and I ended up staying at this job for a total of 5 years. I absolutely hated this job, and before finishing high school, I was contemplating not going to college and trying to do something else on my own. But honestly, working as many hours as I could to save up money from this job, plus how much I hated it, really pushed me to go to college and start a degree. Going into college, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I originally went to school for something medical related, which was nursing, but the classes were challenging and it just didn't interest me at all. So I didn't want to invest the time to actually study for these tests and classes. One day, I scheduled a meeting with a career advisor that this school offered and told him that I wanted to switch my major but felt stuck not knowing what I wanted to do. Eventually, the conversation led to me switching my major to computer science and enrolling in my first computer science class where I learned basic programming in C++. I actually enjoyed being able to learn a skill and apply it to a problem when you're essentially creating instructions for a computer to execute and you're fully responsible for that solution, including maintaining the solution going forward. Another plus to me switching my major, I found out that my job at the grocery store offered tuition assistance, which helped me greatly pay for a big chunk of my tuition. If anybody is looking to get into a corporate related field and getting a related degree, I would highly recommend finding an entry-level job that would cover tuition costs. Such companies like Starbucks, Walmart, or Target, since they would transition you into a corporate role as a new grad, since they could keep your salary low when they make that transition after you graduate. While I was working at the grocery store, I did 2 summer internships my last 2 years of college. The first internship was at a bank doing QA work, which was mainly testing internal software that the bank was building. I learned a lot as this was my first internship and got real-world experience to put on my resume, and this internship lasted 3 months and I was getting paid $15 per hour. The next summer for my senior year of college, I did another 3-month internship at an insurance company that paid me $20 per hour. This was an IT architecture internship, which was basically working with different functions within the company, identifying the pain points that other teams were running into, and researching technologies and more efficient ways to solve these problems. So an example would be working with a business intelligence team that has trouble moving data back and forth between systems, and you might introduce a new solution of creating a middleware like a new API to facilitate this data exchange that would automate manual processes and reduce errors. This job was much more fun than my QA testing job, where I was testing other developers' code, but at least being an architect, you were able to code a proof of concept for a new idea and present that to stakeholders that could make the decision to either invest further in what you're proposing or provide feedback to change the solution. After both of these internships and graduating college, I got a return offer at the insurance company to come back as a software engineer, and my starting salary was $50,000 per year. This is why internships are important to make connections, as I don't think I would have got this job if I didn't intern there previously. This was the first time I received benefits like paid time off and a 401k package that I contributed to in order to take advantage of the company match to build out my investment portfolio further. I was working as a full stack engineer, working with the MERN stack, which stands for MongoDB, Express.js, React.js, and Node.js. I stayed at this job for 6 months before leaving. The next job I took on was another software engineer role at a different bank from the one that I did an internship at that paid me $56,000 per year. In hindsight, I wish I didn't make this job hop just because the pay was not that big of a bump, but the benefits were better than the insurance company and the commute was a shorter drive to the office for me. I worked strictly on back-end systems, so I didn't have to worry about putting a front end together to hook up everything. I was able to pass off my work to front-end engineers to integrate with what I built. I ended up leaving this job in about 7 to 8 months later. I made a big discovery at this time using the Team Blind app for tech workers. People on this app share salaries and job offer negotiations, and this is when it really hit me that other companies pay a lot higher than what I was getting paid, so I was aggressively job hunting. The third job after college that I took on was at a fintech company that paid me $90,000 base salary as a product analyst. There was other compensation included, like a 10% yearly bonus, and it also offered a $5,000 sign-on bonus for the first year. This was when I also switched career paths from software engineering to product management, which is why I think this was one of the reasons I stood out during the interview process, because I had underlying software context of how the actual product was being built and understood which features we could develop quickly on that would provide the highest value to users. Low-hanging fruit, as you'll hear in the corporate circles of what people call it. But having prior coding experience has made me a better product manager, in my opinion, because you are the face of the product. So you are the first point of contact people reach out to, including other engineers from other teams that are trying to integrate with what your team has built, and you are much more efficient at explaining how the product works. I've worked with other product managers who would either tell me to talk with an engineer on their team or someone else more technical that could show me what they're building and how it works. If I want a demo of a product, it would make sense that I go to the product manager of that team to give me an overview, not one of the devs that has worked on some features for it. I ended up staying as a product analyst for a little over a year before making my next hop, leaving the company with a base salary of around $93,000 per year because of a yearly raise. The pandemic hit and work-life balance became terrible at this company when we all started working from home. Like, I was getting messaged at night, questions that people would expect me to answer on the same night. So I started job hunting aggressively again to make a switch. My fourth job, I ended up going to another financial services company that paid me $100,000 base with a 5% target bonus and a $10,000 sign-on bonus for the first year. This was another product management role similar to my previous role, and I ended up staying here for 2 years. So by the time I left, I was at around $107,000 base salary when exiting. Keep in mind that I have not been promoted once at any of my roles at this point in my career. I've been job hopping to essentially get my own promotion, which at the time, getting tech jobs was so in demand, it felt like every single company had multiple openings for any software development title you could think of. After 2 years at this company without a promotion, just the regular yearly salary increases, I decided to leave again where I found my next job, which is at my current company. My current role, I started at $120,000 a year with a 15% target bonus and a $15,000 sign-on bonus for the first year. I came in as a mid-level product manager and got promoted to a senior-level product manager, which came with a nice salary increase over the traditional yearly raises. So now I'm making $140,000 base with an 18% target bonus for my job level. My current job also offers great time off with a nice 401k match, but if you just factor in my base salary plus my bonus, my total compensation is around $160,000 per year. As far as my future career endeavors go, I'm not really sure yet. I'm getting close to reaching my financial independence goals, and like I said, I really do like my current job since it offers me great flexibility, working remote, being able to work really anywhere. I could look at taking a few years off to figure out what I want to do with life, or continue working with my job and travel as much as I can since I can work from anywhere. But if there is anybody watching considering getting into tech, I would still highly recommend it. Sure, there are layoffs going on in the industry and companies are trying to slim down and streamline teams, but once you get your first break, land a job, start gaining experience, it is rewarding and you can start making a name for yourself in the industry. And tech is so broad. You don't have to focus strictly on being a software engineer. You can get into program management, project management, product management, cybersecurity, networking, system admin, even help desk, support. Some will pay more than others, but it's really finding what you like and what you can tolerate. And college isn't the only way to get into tech. You can look into getting certificates, boot camps, and even entry-level roles that just require a high school degree that would offer on-the-job training. With how competitive tech currently is, I'd still recommend it, as these are skills that can transfer into anything you want to do. Like if you decided to work for yourself, freelancing for example, you'll be able to offer your skills to other companies for short-term or long-term projects. With all of that said, thanks so much for watching, taking the time to hear about my salary progression from minimum wage to where I'm at now. I truly believe anybody can hit six figures. If anybody wants to talk about the tech industry or wants to know more about what exactly product managers do, I would love to chat more. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe for similar topics. And to everyone watching, I truly wish you all the best. And remember, you are the only one that can make your dreams happen. Keep grinding. I'll see you in the next one.